Yo, I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true, but the world is pretty cold.
You're my boy, Blue!
What's going on, YouTube? Y'all know what time it is. It's your boy Blue here, and it's time for that daily recap. So today, I was looking at Netflix, and it actually went a little bit better, but I still need to get more patient because I kind of screwed myself out of some nice gains today. So today I was looking at it off the pre-market highs and lows, which when it opened, it completely just dumped out right here. You see this long wick, it dumped out. And as soon as it got down here, I instantly bought some calls, but I also bought puts, something like a straddle. It's called a straddle. So I was holding it just in case it continued, and then I would have sold the puts and then left the calls on, RT risk to zero or something, or let them or took them off at the end of the day. Probably would have lost some on that trade at the end, but it started pushing up and it got stuck at this 350 area with all of this. And my first thoughts was, here we go again, because yesterday I had the same problem with this 350 area. For some reason, it was having a lot of trouble with just completely going ahead and either go one way or the other against it. You see, it kept coming down to it and stand around this 350 area right here, come back up, stay around this 350, and it grinded my position yesterday so much. I kind of got stuck in that type of mentality that it might do it again. So when it was up here, I got out of my trade. I sold my calls and my puts up here and ended up taking a small loss. It was actually, and that's weird because it came from here to up here, but it grinded so much that it still ended up putting me in the negative. But it was real small. I might have made a few pennies on it, but my commissions ate that anyways. So then, well, once it came, where was it? I ended up buying puts on this pullback when it got below here, because these long wicks, it kept having these long wicks, which normally, and they was all at the top, normally indicating that it can be a reversal. So I said, okay, let me buy some puts down when it was down here. And once they didn't, it didn't fall apart, and it held right here after this candle, because once this candle closed above and then this candle pulled back, to me that was like confirmation that it was trying to stay above my pre-market highs. So I bought a call, but I just held the put too. So when it did this big push and it got stuck up, and it pushed up on both of these candles, I ended up selling my full position, which ended up making me green. Well, for some reason it had me slightly green. I thought it was something with my platform that I didn't understand why I sold like that. But anyways, it still kept me slightly red. So I was slightly red. So then because I rolled up and I bought another call, and I was risking a zero with it, and I got rid of the put. So I just had that call on, and I was going to hold it just for this run. And so I actually ended up, after it pushed up right here to here, I sold my position and rolled up again. So I bought one more call and I sold my other call, and it put me in a green, and there's not a whole lot, but I made a decent amount where I'm satisfied. So by me rolling up, I'm holding that and I have a sell in just in case it hits, but it is far away before it hits. So I'll be holding it until tomorrow. If the market gaps up, then more than likely it'll hit it in the morning. If it doesn't, then I'll just hold it. But overall, I'm green on the day. I went back to look to see the strike price that I bought from down here, how much they were up here, and I was kind of annoyed that I didn't hold them, because yesterday I sat there and held them through all of that grind and got chopped out of my position to where it kind of upset me that, or it kind of scared me that it was going to do the same thing again at this 350. So I was like, okay, I really don't want to go in no more until it can clear that and hold over it, over that 350 area up here. And today, or it finally did, but me being impatient, it made me lose. Well, I made me lose some money, me being impatient, because this is what I was actually holding for. But I was so scared from yesterday that I scared my own self up out of the trade when I would have probably held it the whole day. Probably would have took my puts off somewhere around here and held the calls for the rest of the day. And probably would have ended up rolling up here anyways. But I'm in between on the day because the other positions was fine that I took. I'm happy with them. The way I traded after this position, normally I would have took a double top, which would have been right here, and I would have ended up squoze up out of it because it was having troubles with this 355 for a while. You see all of this is up here. It just kept topping out at 355. So it didn't roll over. I'm glad I didn't buy the puts and I had the calls, and it pushed through, held, and came up. Once on this pop, I ended up selling and rolling up again. And now I'm holding my other ones till it hit my target or they expire. And I'll just do some more trading tomorrow. So that's all y'all have today. If you all like to comment, subscribe, leave a thumbs up, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Later.
Yo, I ain't here for the money.